23rd meeting of the Mayor and City Council will come to order. If you wish to be heard at this meeting, please sign the speaker list provided on the table at the far side of the council chamber near the door. I reserve the right to limit the amount of time each speaker has for each agenda item, and each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak for each agenda item. We'll stand for the invocation by Reverend Warren H. Litchfield and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by the Mayor.
Almighty God, we gather this evening to conduct the business of this city. We offer our prayer for our mayor, for the president, for the members of the city council, and for all in authority. Grant unto them a sense of justice, strength, and wisdom as they perform their duty in behalf of all thy people. We commend this city, this county, this state, this nation, and thy people to thy merciful care and understanding. Remember those who lie upon a bed of affliction. Comfort those who mourn the loss of loved ones. In the name of the one who is Lord of life, we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, Ms. Rao.
Mr. Ricks?
Here.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Here.
Mr. Smalls?
Here.
President Laz?
Here.
Mayor Mel?
Move to agenda item number 5, approval of minutes from the 22nd meeting of Monday, November 14th, 2016. We had these sent out for review. There's been a few minor changes reported to Ms. Brown. She's incorporated them, so they're as corrected. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Smalls. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Call the roll, Ms. Rao.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas? Yes. President Laz?
Yes. Move to agenda item number 6, report of the Mayor and City Council. And tonight I will start with Mr. Smalls.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be very brief. First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone back from the Thanksgiving holiday and hope it was a healthy one. I will say, however, that I did try a new recipe. It's Brussels sprouts with Gruyere cheese. With that said, along with my colleagues, we spent a few days in Pittsburgh at the National League of Cities annual convention. I attended a number of workshops there. And what I enjoy most about attending these events, these conferences, is that you have the opportunity to network with people from doing like work from other parts of the country. And you very quickly find that you're not alone with many of the issues that you have to deal with. Folks are dealing with many of like issues that we face here in the city and are solving or have solved, or we offer our perspective in ways that we've worked to solve some of the issues. Some of the topics that I particularly enjoyed was discussions on smart cities, discussions on cybersecurity, and of course, some of the big topics during the conference were opioid epidemic, which is obviously facing communities around the country. In addition to that, I had an opportunity yesterday to participate with the council and the mayor and community in the opening of Emancipation Park, the reopening. It's been a long time coming. It's a beautiful park, and I'm going to say it in this fashion: the library complements the park. That's my feeling on it. And talked to a number of people who live in the Grove community, and I remembered having talked to Tom Dernoga today that This effort to build a library, to revitalize Emancipation Park goes back maybe 8 or 9 years. It goes back that far. So really pleased to see the end result. And I visited the library twice today, and the enthusiasm is great in the community. That's my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Smalls. Ms. Nicholas?
Thank you. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I attended the Bond Mill Elementary Craft Fair last Saturday. I also attended the tree lighting ceremony. It was rainy, but a lot of people did show up. I also, with my colleague Eddie Ricks, attended the small business, did the small business Saturday on Main Street, which was a lot of fun, got a lot of good shopping in. I too attended with my colleagues and the mayor the ribbon cutting for Emancipation Park, and also the grand reopening of the library. It's a lot of excitement in the air. It's wonderful. I hope to see you all there. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Crary?
Thank you, Mr. President. As Mr. Smalls mentioned, we went to NLC in Pittsburgh, and we got to learn about everything from dogs to drones and bike sharing in between, which I know the mayor attended. We opened the park and this wonderful new library. I can't believe it's open. I had to keep pinching myself today because it's really real. This weekend coming up, we have the holiday parade on Saturday, December 3rd. And I too wish that everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I will disagree with Mr. Smalls. That Brussels sprouts recipe was given to me at the same time, and it's not healthy.
Thank you, Mr. Ricks.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too, as Mrs. Nicholas said, walked down Main Street and visited a number of businesses on Saturday. I want to acknowledge the fact that the mayor and Mr. Smalls and Mr. Crary spent, enormous amounts of time working with the staff at the Laurel Stanley Library. I was glad that we were able to keep that name and the history that belongs to the part of the Laurel. Also attended the Emancipation Park grand opening, and I think that's part of our culture and our history, and I'm glad that we're able to preserve it the way we are. I also want to acknowledge Mary Lehman as the person who really did a great job for us here in the city as part of her district and District 1 here in Prince George's County, that she was able to acquire the money and the funding that was necessary in order to build that magnificent building. On my way down here tonight, I passed the library, and there were 2 or 3 little children sitting inside of the whale's belly reading their books, and it was kind of inspiring. So I'm sure it's going to get a lot of good use, and I thank you very much, and that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ricks. I hope everybody had a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving Day. I'd like to congratulate all who participated in the Thanksgiving morning Lars Turkey Trot. I had a ringside seat from my dining room window and can report there were an impressive number of participants. I think they raised a large amount of money, and it's impressive the number of people that participate. As you've heard, November 15th to the 20th, we attended the National League of City Meetings in Pittsburgh. There were a wealth of seminars and mobile classrooms, and what was most impressive to me, because my wife is from that area, from Pittsburgh, and I've been up there many times to Carnegie Mellon over the last 25 years, is what was impressive is how Pittsburgh is rebounding from the loss of the steel mills. There was steel mills all along the river at one time that were just shut down. And the other part that was impressive was there's very little shopping downtown. It, in fact, has become their town center. Restaurants, some high-end bars, and it was very, very impressive. You've heard we had the grand opening yesterday of the grand reopening of Emancipation Park. And this is an outstanding example of a City of Laurel Park improvement that will provide increased recreation opportunities for all well into the future. Again, today, the long-anticipated library grand reopening. Congratulations to all who worked on this effort, especially Councilwoman Lehman, Councilmember Smalls, and Councilmember Crary, and many other dedicated volunteers and citizens and the Friends of the Laurel Library. This was a collaboration between the city and the county to ensure that the required property was available to provide expansion room for this well-used facility to benefit the community, city, county, and other state citizens. That concludes my report. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me also wish everybody and hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. That was the day of the annual turkey trot that Lars puts on. I had the opportunity to participate along with Councilmember Crary. We didn't run the trot. We ended up walking it. Still had a good time. Had over 800 participants and made hopefully some good funds for a good cause. I want to thank our city forces, in particular our police department and public work crews that were out assisting. So overall, a very good day. As you've heard, we attended the National League of Cities in Pittsburgh, attended many different conferences. One thing that was going on that week when we were there was called Light Up Friday. I got some really good ideas, so we look forward to bringing some of those ideas to Laurel here next year. We'll get started right after the first of the year. Joanne? The tree lighting at the town center, want to thank Burlington. A little bit wet that night, but Burlington helped hold the festival, or actually the ceremony inside, and then the tree lighting went on outside afterwards, and we thank them and thank the town center, and a beautiful tree again, as always, there at the town center. Saturday was Small Business Saturday. Had the opportunity to visit a few stores on Main Street, Route 1, and up in the Laurel Lakes area as well. And again, wish everybody, again, and remind everybody to support our local businesses here in the city. As you heard, the grand reopening of the Emancipation Park occurred on Sunday. I want to thank all those that came out. A little windy, a little cold, and but we had a good turnout from citizens and members of staff here. I want to thank, in particular, the Park and Recs and facilities that really put 100% out to make sure that it was ready to go. And Joanne, again, thank your staff for all their work that they did. As I said, their work continues because now it's been handed over to the city and over to the Department of Park and Recs to maintain, and it is a beautiful area, and I think with the opening of the library, they go hand in hand. Let me also acknowledge and thank Pastor King and the St. Mark's United Methodist Church for their participation in the ribbon cutting and the grand opening of Emancipation Park. Today was the grand opening of the Laurel Library. Again, I think you've heard a lot of comments and a lot of accolades for County Councilwoman Mary Lehman. Again, I want to echo those sentiments. She was very instrumental in making sure the funding was there and making sure that the project continued on time. And anytime there was a problem, there was a couple issues we've been dealing with, Mary was there to make sure that those problems were taken care of. It's a beautiful building inside. I encourage the public to go by, take a look. And as you heard Councilman Rick say, there's, the kids area in particular is really just really thought out well. And I can't say enough on how the park and the library complement each other. The couple announcements to make. The Saturday, December the 3rd, is the City of Laurel Holiday Parade and illumination of the Armory Building. It starts at 5 p.m. The parade, you want to be up here at the Municipal Center for lineup. On Friday, December the 9th, is the City of Laurel Holiday Party here at the Municipal Center, and the city offices will close at 1 p.m. on December the 9th. Also on December the 10th at 9 a.m. sharp, Partnership Hall, they'll be holding the Breakfast with Santa, and you can contact our Department of Park and Recs. Any tickets left? Oh, cancel that, or sold out. The holiday decorating contest will take place as well. If you'd like to nominate somebody or yourself, you can dial 301-725-7800 and the Department of Park and Recs and let them know the address, or you can let my office know. And Joanne, do we have a date when it's actually you're gonna go up till? After December the 16th is a cutoff, so we encourage you to get your decorations up and submit those nominations. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor. Move to agenda item number 7, general public hearing. I'll open the general public hearing at 7:12. I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the general public hearing at 7:13. Move to agenda item number 8, second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1887, an ordinance to amend the operating budget of the mayor and city council of Laurel, Maryland for the fiscal year July 1, 2016 through June 30, 2017. This was discussed at the work session. Michelle, do you have anything to add? Okay. It's been read to the record for the second reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:13. I have no one to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:13 and a half. Do we have a motion on this item?
Mr. President, move for adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Crary. Any discussion? Call the roll, Ms. Rao.
Mr. Ricks?
Yeah, aye.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes.
Mayor Mel?
Thank you. Move to agenda item number 9, second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1888. An ordinance to amend certain project budgets in the FY 2017 to FY 2022 Capital Improvement Program. I've read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:14. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:14 and a half. Do I have a motion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Crary?
I recommend that we adopt ordinance number 1888 as read into the record.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Crary. Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Any discussion? We have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1888. Call the roll, Ms. Rao.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes.
Mayor Mel?
Move to agenda item 10, second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1889. An ordinance to amend section 17-136 of the Laurel City Code to designate a speed limit for Brooklyn Bridge and Old Sandy Spring Road. Read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:15. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:16. I'll entertain a motion.
So, go ahead.
Make a motion for ordinance number 1889.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholas. Thank you, Mr. Ricks. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1889. Call the roll, Ms. Rao.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Aye.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes.
Mayor Mel?
Thank you. Move to agenda item number 11, second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1890. An ordinance to amend the operation of the City of Laurel Employees Retirement Plan effective on and after July 1, 2016 by changing the mortality tables used for funding purposes. I've read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:17. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:17 and a half. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Crary. Any discussion? We have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1890. Call the roll, Ms. Rao.
Mr. Ricks?
Aye.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes.
Mayor Mel?
Just shocked nobody from the public wanted to testify on this bill. I concur.
Mr. Green, can't you get people in here to testify on this? Okay. Thank you. Move to agenda item number 12. Second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1891, an ordinance to amend the operation of the City of Laurel Police Retirement Plan effective on and after July 1, 2016 by changing the mortality tables used for funding purposes. I've read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:18. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing at 7:18 and a half.
Bless you.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholas. Any discussion? We have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1890. Call the roll, Ms. Rao.
I'm sorry, that was ordinance 1891, correct?
91.
I
Mr. Ricks?
apologize. It's correct,
Aye.
1891.
Okay, Mr. Ricks?
Aye.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes.
Mayor Mel?
For the record, that was 1891.
Correct.
That's
Thank you.
correct. Move to agenda item number 13, second public hearing. With possible action on ordinance number 1892. An ordinance to modify the operation of the City of Laurel Employees Retirement Plan effective on or after July 1, 2016 to increase the smoothing period. I've read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:19. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:20. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President,
Ms. Crary?
I recommend the adoption of ordinance number 1892 as read into the record.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Any discussion? We have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1892. Call the roll, Ms. Rao.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes.
Mayor Mel?
Okay, we move to agenda item number 14. Second public hearing with possible action on ordinance 1893, an ordinance to modify the operation of the City of Laurel Police Retirement Plan effective on and after July 1, 2016 to increase the smoothing period. I've read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:21. I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing at 7:21 and a half. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Smalls. Any discussion? We have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1893. Call the roll, Ms. Rao.
Mr. Ricks?
Aye.
Mr. I'm sorry, Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
President Les?
Yes.
Mayor Mel?
Move to agenda item number 15. Second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1894, an ordinance amending the Laurel City Code, Chapter 17, Traffic, Article 3, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, Division 2, Metered Parking to extend the application of the metered parking provisions to public parking lots. I've read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:22. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing at 7:22 and a half. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President,
Ms. Crary?
I recommend that we approve ordinance number 1894 as read into the record.
Thank you, Ms. Crary. Do I have a second?
Second. I yield.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholas. Any discussion? We have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1894. Call the roll, Ms. Rao.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes.
Mayor Mel?
That concludes the normal agenda. Is there anything else to come before the council? Meeting is adjourned.